Hey guys, welcome to Driveway Liberty Podcast Patreon sneak peek, which regular folk will be able to see next week. But man, we're excited. We've gone video. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's probably sucking right now because we can't hear the audio, and we're trying out some new things. But hopefully you'll get a little something out of it, and we're going to tell you all about it. Before we get into the deep part of it, let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Let's go to my left right here. My boy Dan Matacheros sitting over here. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing okay. The Dolphins laid an egg today, but Tua's back next week, so we should be all right.
Yeah, man, he's having a good time. He's making faces in it before we started up. And all
Gotta do.
That's it. All right, let's go to our boy Trav over here, man.
Hello.
You're on.
What's going on?
Eye contact with the viewers.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, look deep in their soul.
That's perfect. So, man, we got a pretty cool setup for you tonight. We're going to be switching back and forth. One thing that I don't have it set up for, guys, just letting y'all know, is when I switch to you individually, I don't have the other two mics on. So you have to bully pulpit if it's just your face in there.
Is that to combat me from talking to you?
Yeah, that's to cut Dan out when he tries to take over the conversation.
Well, that sounds like just a 20-minute soliloquy from old T-Rav here.
There you go.
That's a good habit.
So you may see us adjusting some shit while we're doing this and hanging out. I forget we're on YouTube, so we have to kind of watch the language a little bit. But
no, we really don't. I've seen the Pat McAfee show.
There you go. Well, we've got some exciting things coming up. Obviously, this is first of one of the things that we talked about last week, and we wanted to kind of give our Patreon supporters kind of a sneak peek of what we do have going on for the week. And I don't know that we actually have a plan right now.
We're winging it is what we're doing. So,
which is kind of what we do
which
anyways.
Is pretty much, with the exception of a few slides,
right?
We pretty much wing it, kind of organic how it flows. So.
Yeah.
So last night, Dan and I were watching football.
Right.
And he's like, "What are we going to talk about tomorrow?" I'm like, "We're going to give him a sneak peek." He's like, "What? The sneak peek of what?" I said, "Well, with the Biden administration, 3 days is like a lifetime."
That's true.
Right.
So what we would say we're going to talk about on Sunday, hell, we might be in a nuclear World War III by this Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll go live.
The chances are looking pretty good, actually, for something like that. I know tomorrow you're going to get our Evergreen cast that we actually recorded last week. That comes out tomorrow. That's an audio-only cast. All of our casts, including this one, will be available in audio the day that it's released to general public. But as a Patreon subscriber, you get it first, man. And if you're watching this on Tuesday and you're not a Patreon subscriber, you can look right down below, and it's telling you right now, patreon.com, Driveway Liberty /Driveway Liberty Podcast. So,
get on board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sneak peek.
So one thing that we are doing differently that we've never done is we've actually got a schedule. And our Wednesday night will be a live stream on YouTube, open to everybody.
Yep.
And we're going to do that at 7:30.
7:30 Central, 5:30 Pacific. All right.
And we need sponsors to go in the break, so we'll have pee time without leaving a lot of blank air, man.
Right.
So that's one thing. So if you're a Patreon supporter and you know somebody that has a liberty-minded business, please send them our way. We would definitely appreciate it.
8:30 for our East Coast listeners.
East Coast.
Yeah.
We got a few of those. Bradford representing Bradford, Pennsylvania.
So
And we are drinking beer for real.
here's a topic I want to talk about this week.
All right, what you got?
So you remember like a month ago, the Biden administration, they flew over to Saudi Arabia. They were going to demand that OPEC and the Saudis just pump more oil to keep the oil prices down.
Mm-hmm.
And the Saudis basically gave them a middle finger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now we know the request wasn't continuous. Wasn't continue to pump more oil. It was really just for 1 month, and if you do the quick, that's right after the midterm elections.
Yeah.
So they were trying to artificially deflate, or what I like to call it, a quid pro Joe. Because he's good at that.
That works.
Right? Yeah.
He did that in Ukraine, which then they didn't impeach Trump on.
Yeah, figure that one. Biden did it, and they impeached Trump on it.
But, so my question, why is it the oil that OPEC produces is good and clean? The oil that America produces is not, and it's killing the earth.
Hey, that's a great question. And I
Because
don't think
it's all bullshit.
yeah,
That's pretty much
absolute and utter bullshit. It's we already know, man, that what they're trying to do is just they're trying to empower the Democrat Party and the cabal, as some people say, the conspiracy theorists say. They're just trying to take over the world and get their way with everything.
Well, there's a new argument that's out now where they're saying that oil is not a fossil fuel, it's a renewable energy.
Yeah.
And the earth just renews itself. The earth continuously provides it. So the more you take away, the more the earth gives back. So, I don't know, make the argument the other way. Because every time they said we were going to run out of oil, we never did. Not once.
But if you look at the proliferation of petroleum-based products, the quality of life, like the quality of life, the expected life expectancy, I mean, literally everything just shot through the roof. When we kind of harnessed petroleum products in the early part of the 20th century, just everything on Earth got better.
And the homework assignment for the listeners, go look up what products are made with petroleum. You'll be absolutely shocked.
Everything.
It's literally almost everything.
Yeah, everything.
Absolutely, it is.
And if it's not made of petroleum, it's made by energy produced by petroleum.
Correct. And so we've talked about the cost of liquid natural gas, just all these different things, and all of these things are byproducts of petroleum and crude oil.
Yes.
And people are going to die because of the cost of liquid natural gas as we get into this winter. And it looks like it'll be a little bit of a tough winter, pretty cold, because in Florida we're expected middle of October to get down in the low 40s in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So,
it's supposed to be chilly this week, from what I understand, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we get
that's
together
what you're
Wednesday.
saying?
I might even be full on Bucky's onesie,
Mm.
or I might save that for the Halloween special.
Yeah, we doing a Halloween special?
Man, we ain't no telling what else.
We do have a neighborhood Halloween party to go to on the 29th.
On the what?
29th.
I can't do it. I'm playing a Halloween party over in Panama City Beach.
So,
yep.
But that's where we are as a country. Now, Russia is part of OPEC Plus.
Yeah.
And that's why the Biden administration said, "Oh, they're siding with Russia." Like, well, we're not at war with Russia, so what do you mean
we're just
siding with
funding
Russia?
a country that is.
Right. And all of Biden's decisions has made the ruble stronger and made the Russian economy better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's literally a technicality to state that we're not at war with Russia.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the only thing we're not doing is using soldiers as a part of that war. We're using everything else.
They've admitted we have special forces, black ops in Ukraine. We know we're giving them intelligence, like all this stuff. Like,
well, you remember the slip up by Biden where they corrected and said he was talking to Polish soldiers as opposed to ours.
What about, I mean, it's kind of changing gears, still talking about Biden, but him sniffing the little girl in the damn ice cream shop. Pedo Hitler. I mean,
guy's creepy.
Dude,
Creepy Joe is real.
and what scares me the most is if you look at all the trends, we're probably past red wave. Like, it's going to be big across the country. But the frustration that people will feel if these Republicans go and do absolutely nothing, I think we're at an inflection point that the Republicans might have 2 elections to actually decide to do something.
Yeah.
And if we get into 24, 25 and they're not, I don't know. When good people feel like they have no formal way to redress their government and voting doesn't work anymore,
bad things happen.
Yeah.
Well, right now the generic ballot for Congress has a lead of 7 points for the GOP, which is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
I mean, again, you're looking at 30 Republican governors, probably 27 completely all 3 branches run by Republicans in the states. For sure the House, most likely the Senate. So, I mean, it really is it really sets itself up for Republicans to go and actually do something. I fear they're not.
Right.
All right, so I want to transition to one of Travis's specialties. I read today that Alaska is canceling the current snow crab season.
Yes.
Because of the population of snow crab. It's dwindled so much.
Yeah.
Don't have any to go get.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen. The Bering Sea, you guys have watched Daily Sketch? Mm-hmm. Okay. A little bit of a snow crab expert. Well, the Bering Sea is international waters. Anybody can fish for crab in the Bering Sea. So these American boats are going to go and catch crab. Then they're going to drive about 50 miles to Russia, unload it in Russia and sell it to them, and then then they'll haul it back to Seattle to be sold in the United States, or Russia will distribute it wherever. So it's literally not going to stop a single crab from being caught or processed. It's just hurting the American.
Us from getting crab.
No, there'll be plenty of crab. Canada keeps increasing their quotas because they're saying the population's voting. But Canada also measures, so the United States takes a big dredge and dredges the bottom of the ocean floor, which to me probably kills more crabs than anything. And they look at the amount of crab in there and they try to make decisions based off of that. Canada goes and drops pots, comes back and checks them, and makes their decisions based off of that.
Mm.
So we're not going to have a scarcity of snow crab.
No, but the price will go up. The price has been fairly low this year because
it's a commodity, and then just like all commodities, oil included, when there's negative news, then I would imagine that that's going to cause the price to go up because the commodity traders are going to be bidding in hoping of making money. They're going to be buying up the futures.
Well, the interesting thing with snow crab is there's like 2 months out of the year that snow crab is caught. Right. It. So what's caught is caught. And, then it's just a market type deal. Now, what's happened is snow crab was so expensive for the entirety of 2021. A lot of restaurants have gone away from it. Casinos where you used to go get all-you-can-eat snow crab, they only do that 1 or 2 nights a week now.
Right.
So the market has adjusted itself, and that's why the price dropped so much this year. It jumped so much that people were starting to put it back on the menu, or it dropped so much.
That they're putting it back on the menu to serve.
Right. And so now next year's kind of up in the air but to the point, we had low crab prices this year. Alaska only caught 5 million pounds. That was the quota for 2022. So it's not as effective as it sounds like, but it did drive the markets up on the spot trades.
I got you.
So you want to talk about guns here for a minute?
I'm always down to talk about
guns. Well, there's a new rule that the federal firearms license dealers now will be required to provide the FBI with the personal addresses of individuals who attempt to make a purchase but are rejected or have a delayed transaction. The FBI will also provide local law enforcement with the details of failed or delayed transactions, as well as the personal information of those individuals. And this is a part of this came in the fiscal appropriations package in March of 2022. In that fiscal bill, the package contained the Violence Against Women's Act Reauthorization Act, which includes this notification now that FFLs have to. And if you get a failed one, you're not getting a gun legally anyway. But
right.
You've got people that get delayed transactions for all kinds of nothing to do with them doing anything wrong that would delay the transaction. There's other things that happen. Mm-hmm. John Smith. All right, there's freaking 300 John Smiths, so you got to sort through it. So sometimes these things get delayed.
Right.
And normally, those of us who have bought a firearm, you go in and it's pretty quick, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Although when I've been there, in some cases where it's taken a couple of hours.
Right.
There was one instance where I had to go home and come back. I purchased a gun at 11 o'clock in the morning, went home and came back at 3:30, and that's when my background check went through. So there's all kinds of different reasons for delays, but now you're just adding to the personal file of gun owners that the FBI now has. How does that have anything to do with Violence Against Women's Reauthorization Act? I mean, and then they do this crap, and they stick it in a budget bill, so they get past the super majority of having to pass it.
Right.
So it's just a simple majority.
Right.
And they put all this. This is you call it pork, but this isn't pork. This is deterioration of our rights. That's put into an appropriations bill, which is
that's what the omnibus bills are for. They're full of it.
Mhm.
And what I think would be, every year at the end of the year, you get some big omnibus bill. We got to keep the government going, blah blah. So if we're 50-50 in the Senate still at that point, because obviously the new Congress won't be sworn in by then. It only takes one Republican to defect to fund that. So, I mean, are they just going to keep funding this stuff? Like every time we have a quote government shutdown, literally nothing changes in life.
No, and they use that as a political tool to gain leverage, and what they'd hope would be leverage in the public market place. I mean, they're not. Dude, man, every time they threaten a government shutdown, I'm like, more. Let's do it more often. Let's just shut them down for a month and a half, 2 months.
Well, the biggest problems with these bills is they hide stuff in them. So the whole public knows that, oh my God, the government's going to shut down. They try to make it a very, scary time, or use it as blaming the other party for shutting down the government. It's a political tool.
Right.
And then they put shit like this in there that just erodes your rights and nobody knows about it. Like, how many people would read through that omnibus bill and come up and see this? There was things about guns in Obama's Obamacare package.
Yeah.
Like, they make these bills and they hide this stuff in there.
They
It drives you
that
crazy.
pork in. It was just like with
deceptive.
the hurricane bill for Ian. Nancy Pelosi tried to sneak in like $17 billion for the Ukraine in that bill.
Yep.
That's meant to, help folks that have been impacted by the damn hurricane.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely ridiculous. Stupid stuff.
And then if you vote against it because it's got all this crap in it, they just run around for 6 months and say, you voted against helping the people in Ukraine. Or you voted against helping Americans. Or whatever it was.
And I'm all for, if they looked at me and said, you voted against helping the people in Ukraine, I'm like, yeah, exactly.
But it's not, this instance is Ukraine, but there's plenty of times where they've had a bill like this.
Oh,
they'll say you voted against.
I remember back in the
Medicare,
late 90s where the
senior citizens.
Democrats were running ads that Republicans wanted your grandmother to have to eat Alpo. I mean, they were literally running that ad. I think it was in Iowa or Idaho or somewhere. Because the Republicans voted against a bill that had some pork barrel shit in there. I think it was like a cost of living raise for Social Security or something like that. Yeah. But it was...
Well, my favorite was Joe Biden touting they raised the Social Security raise when it's literally tied to inflation. So, I mean, he did technically.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
But it's not like he went in and single-handedly raised how much everybody was getting on Social Security.
Right.
Like, it's just...
Well, we talked about it in a cast a couple weeks ago where they were asking credit card companies to track gun purchases.
Right.
Well, Visa just announced they're going to join that. They're going to do it.
Oh, I have no doubt.
So it's another way around creating a law. They're using companies, like they did with COVID,
right,
vaccines,
to track stuff.
Using private companies to help the government do something that they can't get past.
Right.
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous.
This shit should piss you off, people.
Yeah, absolutely should. But for one thing, shutting down, because this is supposed to be a short one, just for Patreon subscribers to start, a kind of a sneak peek. We want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the cast. It's thanks to you that we're allowed to go to video now. That we bought these cameras with Patreon support and the monies that you guys have given to us. So we definitely appreciate it. If you're seeing this on the replay on Tuesday, that how to become a Patreon supporter is right down there. And if you're a business owner and you're liberty minded, the how to reach out to us to advertise is down there as well. We've kind of made up our mind, guys. We're ready to try to make a leap and move towards doing this on the regular. And so we are committed, and we appreciate your commitment to us. And with that being said...
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay. My bad.
If you like what you see, besides Patreon, first you got to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Then you got to like and share the video.
Yes.
And then, because I performed so well today, I think, and got in the conversation, go in the comments and put GIF. J-I-F.
J-I-F.
Not
Hashtag
G-I-F.
Hashtag GIF.
Right. Hashtag GIF, if you agree.
There you go. So, with that being said, I am your Uncle Wes. And for Dan and Travis.
Don't play with the camera.
You're not even on camera
I'm
right
not
now.
even on.
For Dan and Travis. There you go. You can play in the camera now.
Trying to figure out how this camera works now.
There
See
you
my
go.
dolphin?
It works like any camera in history.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not on camera very much.
That's
Well,
probably
you'll
a good
get
thing.
you'll get used to it, Dan.
Probably
Well,
a good thing.
I am your Uncle Wes, and we will see you next time on the Driveway Liberty Podcast.